On Thursday, Vice President Kamala Harris visited an abortion clinic in Minnesota. This is the first time in our nation's history that a president or a vice president has ever visited an abortion clinic.
I'm here at this health care clinic to uplift the work that is happening in Minnesota as an example of what true leadership looks like, which is to understand it is only right and fair that people have access to the health care they need, and that they have access to health care in an environment where they are treated with dignity and respect.
This administration and the whole Democratic Party has championed reproductive rights, even making abortion access a central pillar of their campaigns in recent years. And as even the best of us can be persuaded by recency bias, it's easy to feel as though this has always been the case. But this moment represents a remarkable political shift. Abortion was illegal to varying degrees in every state by the 1880s and outlawed nationally by 1910, except to save the life of the woman. Criminalizing abortion did not make abortion go away. Abortion went underground, making it harder to access and dangerous. The Guttmacher Institute estimates that 1 in 5 abortions resulted in maternal death in the 1930s and the 1940s. Over the next few decades, the debate over abortion access continued, but it was not partisan. Through the 50s and 60s, bipartisan groups promoted abortion legalization, and abortion rights groups routinely endorsed both Democratic and Republican candidates who supported abortion rights. But in the 1970s, this began to shift as Republicans started staking out anti-abortion positions to appeal to religious and socially conservative voters. The GOP, starting with Richard Nixon, began to very successfully package anti-abortion policies and views as part of a so-called pro-family message. Democrats, to a large degree, balked. They could have argued that anti-abortion policies are not, in fact, pro-family, that it is actually anti-family to put the government in control of every individual pregnancy in the country and to bar women, along with their partners and doctors, from making decisions about not only their own health, but about when and whether they should be able to start a family. Democrats could have argued that forced birth is what's immoral, but Democrats didn't. The fact is, Republicans had a pretty easy time selling the message that abortion was immoral and should be a source of shame for anyone who might need one. Many Democrats at the time were on the same page. As Roe was passed in 1973, then newly elected Senator Joe Biden came out against the decision, saying the Supreme Court went, quote, too far with Roe. The year after Roe was decided, Senator Joe Biden said in an interview, quote, I don't think a woman has the sole right to say what should happen to her body, end quote. During the Clinton administration, Democrats coined the phrase safe, legal, and rare to describe their position. In other words, they understood abortion was necessary and they supported abortion rights, but apologetically. They were ceding to the conservative notion that it shouldn't happen. They were just allowing, charitably, that it sometimes had to. Obama, too, couched his support for abortion in the promise that the procedure should be rare and that his administration would decrease the number of abortions nationwide, rather than framing abortion as a routine part of women's health care, which is what it is. Rather than framing the right to abortion as morally correct because it is crucial to women's health, to human dignity, and the ability to live free and equal lives, rather than challenging the mantle of morality on this issue, even most pro-choice Democrats spent decades treating abortion as a necessary evil. Then Roe ended, and the morality of the issue became crystal clear. As we all watched in horror as headlines piled up, women being forced to nearly die before being allowed access to life-saving care, a child rape victim forced to cross state lines for health care, state officials threatening criminal prosecution of anyone who tries to help someone access abortion. And that is how we got to this historic moment, when the first woman vice president in American history is visiting an abortion clinic. We got to this moment on the back of the suffering of women and families whose rights were stripped away after decades of assault from Republicans and neglect from too many Democrats.